Good morning, all. Welcome from the wilds of northwest central British Columbia, and it's another fine day in paradise. Actually, not as cold as it should be at this time of year, which I'm not really complaining about. But I wanted to show you something this morning. Now, one of the benefits, there's challenges, but one of the benefits of living off-grid, or not even off-grid, but very, very rural or rural in general, is you get to raise a lot of your own food, grow large gardens. If you're into hunting, which we are, hunting wild game to provide meat for the table and sustenance. That's a great blessing in itself. Being able to have that available to you. You don't have to run down to the grocery store every time you need something. You can live quite comfortably off-grid once you get set up and do quite well. So we like our dairy products, and I really like my butter. I don't like using oils and that kind of stuff. It's either bear fat or butter is kind of our main thing we use for cooking and so forth. I love it. So butter is very expensive. And of course, if we want to get butter, we got to drive for where we live. It's at least an hour and a ferry ride to go get some butter. Oh, it could end up costing us about $50 for a pound of butter because we got to pay the fuel to get there. So what I'm going to show you this morning is what we do, and it works great. And it's kind of, maybe some might think it's kind of old school and archaic, but it works and it's great, and it's I enjoy the process of doing this. So what I have before me here is a quart-liter jar with cow's milk, fresh cow's milk. Now, the cow's milk is in a larger container, like a 2-gallon glass container. After the cow's milk, let it sit for a while. Usually, nice to sit for about a day. Obviously kept cold. And then the heavy cream will come to the top, or at least the rest of the milk will settle to the bottom. You'll have all the heavy cream on top. And then once that happens, you can skim off that heavy cream. And we've done it here. We put it in this quart-liter jar. Left about probably 1.5 inches of room from the top of the jar to the bottom to allow for agitation, because that's the key ingredient to making butter out of cream, which is what we're going to do. So once you get that in the container, all you really need to do from that point on is begin shaking it. And the agitation eventually will separate the buttermilk from the heavy cream, which becomes butter. And add a little bit of salt to it, and presto, you get yourself excellent natural butter. Nothing else is in it. Just that and a little bit of salt. It helps as a preservative, and some people like a little bit of the salt flavor in their butter anyway. To me, it doesn't matter either way. I love it regardless. So once it's in there, this is how you do it. You just start shaking it. And the key is the agitation. And you want to keep consistent. You don't have to go like 100 miles an hour, and this is too slow. So, probably about, if you want to give a number to it, if you can do probably 120 agitations per minute. So it's like a couple of these every second, roughly. I mean, you can go faster, it would be great if you can. And just shake it like that. Now, this is going to take probably about 4 to 5 minutes to happen. Yeah, you can go to Amazon or somewhere and buy a butter churner for $60 or $70. And it's easier and all that kind of stuff. But it's almost a bit of a romantic way of making butter. It's old school. I am kind of hung up on antiquity and old style way of doing things. Obviously, we're living way out in the wilderness here, completely off grid. And that in itself should tell you that I like things old school. So we won't keep this going the whole time, because it'll be a long video of me doing this. So we'll take a break from this, and when we get close to the end, we'll fire it back up, and then you'll get to see and hear what's actually happening inside this jar and how we make butter. So stay tuned. Okay, it's starting to thicken up in here. You don't really hear much if Ingrid gets close to it, right in the jar itself. You can't even hear anything. Earlier you could hear a bit of sloshing. Starting to thicken up. We're coming close to the point where separation is going to start in earnest. So we're, like I say, this has been 4 minutes. I'm not sure why, just a little bit longer than that would take, but it's getting close. But it will change. You'll definitely hear it change when we start to actually make the butter. So, again, stay tuned. Coming up. Okay. I must have lied to you. This is taking longer than normal. But the last time you heard, there was no sound. Now you can start to hear it now. So we're starting to get separation. What happens is that when you first start doing it, you can hear it. And then it starts to actually turn it almost like whipped cream. Like a very watery whipped cream. And you don't really hear anything. You're shaking it, but there's nothing going on. That's okay. That's normal. And then as it starts, separation starts happening, now the buttermilk is starting to separate from the cream, which is turning into butter. So now we're getting some agitation sounds again because there's a lump starting to build in there of butter. And so now you're going to get that. And then we'll carry on from this point on. And the next time we turn this on, or we come back in, you'll see we're having butter. We'll show you. Okay. So it sounds kind of splashy and slurpy, I guess. We now have made butter. You can see it. I don't know if you can see it in this. Yeah, you can probably see it a bit there. Kind of a lumpy there. Right there, see it? It's rolling around. That's butter in there now. So what we're going to do now is we'll stop tape and we'll go over and show you the next process. Okay, so we're going to take this now. Open up the top. We just pour everything in this bowl to start with. And you're going to see, there's the butter. The butter floating on top there. So now we're going to separate this butter from the buttermilk. And just pour it in here. Whoa. We're going to be too full. We need another container. Kind of hard to see there, but that's all right. All right. So now, there's still a bit of milk in there, but that's okay. So now we're going to try and get, there's going to be some of that buttermilk will still be kind of trapped within the butter itself. So we're going to just kind of keep pushing like this here. That'll start to push out the butter, but you're getting some more milk showing up now. You hear the generator running outside. We had to put the generator on for a bit. Pour some more over here. And once again, just kind of keep squishing it like that. You can see as I do it, it keeps separating more and more of that buttermilk's coming out. Getting more and more all the time. Now we're going to get a bit of just some fresh water and kind of wash it a bit. Hang on here while I go to the fridge. Now the person who's expert at this is actually holding the phone right now, but we're going to just keep kind of basically washing it, I guess, so to speak. It's feeling pretty good right now. It's starting to have really good consistency. I think we're just about got it to where it needs to be. We're getting out that water. We're going to put that in the milk. Getting really close, and now there might still be a little bit of water left in here, but what you're gonna, this is what it looks like. There's your butter. Beautiful, natural, Homemade butter. So now we'll just add a bit of salt to that, mix it up a little bit more, and then we'll put it in a container. We had some butter we made the other night, so we've got already made some as well. And it doesn't seem like a whole lot. There's probably about almost a half a pound of butter there. But we didn't do all the milk either. So when we finish doing all the milk, there's quite a bit more. So probably if we were to do all the milk that we have there, we'd probably get a good solid pound of butter in it. I mean, I think it's around $5 a pound. More. Okay. The boss just said it's more. So I'm out of touch with the actual prices because she usually buys the groceries. But I mean, if it's $6 or $7, I can tell you that's not the same butter we got right here. This is butter, real butter. And then what's next? Not any salt in it. It just tastes better. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you again soon.